You heard a lot about the kids in cages during Trump's term. That was obviously a ridiculous false narrative. Talking about false narratives, police shootings, I think that's number one on the list of false narratives from the media. But kids in cages, the only reason that isn't number one is because the consequences of that lie have not been nearly as dire as the consequences of the police shooting lie. That's a simple lie. And one of the reasons that you knew it was a lie from the beginning, when the left was going on about kids in cages and how worried they are about it and all of that, one of the reasons you knew it was a lie is it goes back to what we were just discussed. That there's no way these people actually give a damn anyway. And that's a hint for everybody. Anytime someone on the left is pretending to care about children, you know something is up because they don't actually care. There's something else going on here. Something is wrong anytime someone on the left is pretending to care about children. And probably what they're saying is completely bogus, as it was here. So the kids in cage narrative was bogus, but it was pushed by the media and Democrats and Biden himself. Interesting thing now, though, is that Biden himself is keeping migrant kids in the same places that Trump was keeping them. Jen Psaki was asked about this at a press conference, and here's how that went.
And to ensure the health and safety of these kids, HHS took steps to open an emergency facility to add capacity where these children can be provided the care they need before they are safely placed with families and sponsors. So it's a temporary reopening during COVID-19. Our intention is very much to close it, but we want to ensure that we can follow COVID protocols as unaccompanied minors come into the United States.
But it's the same facility that was open for a month in the Trump administration. Summer 2019, that is when Joe Biden said, under Trump, there have been horrifying scenes at the border of kids being kept in cages. And Kamala Harris said, basically, babies in cages is a human rights abuse being committed by the United States government. So how is this any different than that?
We very much feel that way. These are facilities. Let me be clear here. One, there's a pandemic going on. I'm sure you're not suggesting that we have children right next to each other in ways that are not COVID safe, are you?
I'm suggesting that Kamala Harris said that this facility, putting people in this facility, was a human rights abuse committed by the United States government, and Joe Biden said, under Trump, there have been horrifying scenes of at the border of kids being kept in cages. Now, it's not under Trump, it's under Biden.
This is not kids being kept in cages. This is kids. This is a facility that was opened that's going to follow the same standards as other HHS facilities. It is not a replication, certainly not. That is never our intention of replicating the immigration policies of the past administration.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, fine then. Never mind. They're not cages, they're facilities now. You see, there's a clear difference. It's exactly the same situation, the exact same place. Everything's the same, but not cages, they're facilities. That's all. Yeah, well, they were facilities all along. And yes, that's the point. And that's why the tricky thing you run into anytime you're trying to hold Democrats to their own standard, or to the standards that they've applied to you. Because we can criticize Biden for this immigration policy because he criticized Trump for the same and mischaracterized it and lied about it. But we're not saying that what's happening right now is wrong. Like, of course, the kids are here, especially if they're unaccompanied. What else are you going to do? Just send them off into the wild world by themselves? You have to... When people are coming here, and especially if they're coming here illegally, you got to do something. And if we're talking about kids, you have to have a place for them. And we also know, to complicate matters, that oftentimes the adults with the children may pose as parents, but oftentimes are not actually the parents. This could be a trafficking situation. You don't know. You have no way of knowing. This is the situation that, the law enforcement officials, immigration officials are put in because of the decision to, among illegal immigrants to do that, to commit that crime and to involve kids in it. So there's no perfect answer. There's a lot of times there's no happy conclusion. You have to do something. And it makes sense to have, yes, facilities. So we're not criticizing that. However, we also can't let you get away with this without pointing out what you're doing. So that's the balancing act that we always find ourselves in when dealing with the hypocrisy of the left. Listen, hit that subscribe button right now. Do it right now. I thank you for your compliance. It is somewhat appreciated.